So what's your bath oil? What's not enough for you? Think about it for a moment. What makes you feel joyful about your life? For me, I have two things that came to mind immediately. One was a really good cologne or good soap, something that really smells rich. It's like a good meditation. I just smell myself all day. And good coffee. Oh, now you're awake. Coffee, oh my God, he's talking my language. I love McNulty's down on Christopher Street. They have the best coffees.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Can we talk? Oh. Reading that piece, the Nora Ephron piece this week, reminded me of a wonderful teaching from the Talmud, which is the ancient Jewish rabbinical writings. It says, when you leave this planet, when you're finished here and you go to the other side, you'll be called upon to account for all the joys you didn't have. How many can you count right now of the joys that you rejected at some point, that you did not say yes to? If you would have a chance to explain yourself right now while you're still here, what would you say? What excuse would you use? Why did you not take advantage of the joyful times when they were offered to you? Too busy? Too difficult to find time or to just get the energy up to do it? Too expensive? Too many responsibilities? If we tell the truth, the biggest excuse that we have is we're too afraid. We're too afraid. Why would we be afraid of having joy? And at core, we don't think we deserve it. That's a big fear. I don't deserve this. And somehow, if I accept this, it's going to be hell to pay in some way. Why do we have this fear of life? Because life is joy. Ultimately, life is joyful. Of living a life that is holy, sacred, and supposedly fun. It's supposed to be a joyful life. It's supposed to be fun on so many different levels. Our elder brother said, it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's your Father's good pleasure. I love that. It's your Father's good pleasure. And what is the good pleasure? What's your good pleasure in life? What do you love to give? So your Creator desires, and apparently gives God a big thrill in this teaching, to move through you all the good that you could possibly have and more. Think of it, all the good that you could ever have, we are just beginning to comprehend. Because it's so Thomas Carlyle wrote, every day that is born into the world comes like a burst of music and rings the whole day through, and you make of it a dance or a dirge, as you will. So according to Carlyle, we interpret our lives as a dance or a dirge. What was your life this week? What was your percentage of dance dirge? Nobody else is calling this. Nobody else is telling you to dance or not dance. Nobody's saying you have to live your life as a dirge. I make that choice. You make that choice. See? Somebody's choosing a dirge right now. I'm holding a light. So where did this idea come from? Where did it come from that life had to be hard and a dirge? Look at your belief system. What was your family? What did your family believe? What was their credo? What probably should have been written on the wall because that's what they talked about all day long. What did your conversation consist of this week, for the most part? Joyful dance or fearful dirge? How much of the news did you allow into your mind and heart this week? Lots of dirging there. The news is always awful. It's always awful. Maybe they'll do like a little tag at the end and say, oh, look at this puppy. Okay, good night, everybody. But 98% of it is dirgy. A lot of dirge there. That's how they get us to watch. Will ISIS blow up New York City next? I heard that a couple of days ago. Will ISIL, whatever they're calling it now, blow up our city? Stay tuned. Right after this commercial, we'll tell you. Oh, honey, come here. You gotta listen. Because we have Hamilton tickets this weekend and we have to know what to do. The world is always conflicted. It's run by people who don't know their divine essence. Don't remember who they are. They get so caught up in this drama that they have to share it with us 24/7. We're surrounded by friends, family, co-workers, CNN, newspapers, magazines, neighbors who thrive on telling us how just terrible it is. Author and therapist Brene Brown, one of my favorite new contemporary writers, wrote that a client shared with her, "I used to think the best way to go through life was to expect the worst. That way, if it happened, you were prepared, and if it didn't happen, you were pleasantly surprised. Then I was in a car accident, and my wife was killed. Needless to say, expecting the worst didn't prepare me at all. And worse, still grieving for all those wonderful moments we shared and that I didn't fully enjoy. My commitment to her is to fully enjoy every moment now. I just wish you were here now that I know how to do that." We think by preparing for the worst, we're not preparing ourselves for the worst. We're just preparing ourselves for things not to be good and denying the joy that is right here, right now. We don't have to wait until that kind of major life upheaval happens. You can change your mind today to have the kind of joyful and creative life that you've always wanted to have, but perhaps put it off for whatever reason, or never thought that you could have. So let's review our 5 core beliefs here at Spiritual Arts Center. Number 1 is God is good. Unchanging, absolute, eternal good. Capital G. God is not a person. We still have vestiges of this idea that God, once we come into New Thought, we think of God as being a pretty cool guy. But we still have this idea that God is some kind of man who flies into a rage like an alcoholic on a binge. Mentally neurotic, a little off. I need a God who's more compassionate than I am. If I'm more compassionate than God, something's really off. So God is the principle, the energy of love, good, joy, peace. Everything good you can think of is what Spirit is and more. So love can't get angry. When people say God's angry at whatever, love can't get angry. Love can only love. Joy cannot smite you. Get that idea out of your head. There's no smiting going on. I'm only smiting myself. It doesn't feel good. So get the idea that anything outside of you or the God that created you could ever do anything negative to you. It's impossible. Totally impossible. Number 2, because goodness created you and continues to create you every single moment of the day, you are good. No matter what you were taught, no matter what you picked up and misinterpreted, you are goodness. You are wonderful. You're perfect just as you are. Your true nature is creative. You create every single day of your life, whether you know it or not. What are you creating, though, is what we are here to take a look at and to explore and say, am I creating the life that I want to create, and how am I doing that, or how am I not doing that? You must create if you're going to access the God power within you. There's no way around it. You are a divine artist of life. My number 1 belief, my number 1 teaching has taken me a few years to kind of get this. But from the very beginning, my main credo has been, are you creating a small, puny life, or are you creating a life of joy that works for you all the time? And if not, let's find a way to do that. How you create is up to you. You're given the materials within you. It's up to you to create a big, wonderful, joyful life or a small, little life of mere existence. Number 3, prayer and meditation, opening ourselves up to listening to Spirit from within. It's a pathway to remembering your oneness with God, our oneness with each other, and the good that we are, our oneness with ourselves, if you will. You have to come to understand who you are and accept that. You can only hear that from within. You'll never get it from the planet outside. You may once in a while hear, oh, good job, well done, but that's about it. You only get the truth from inside your heart as to who and what you are. Number 4, the spiritual art of creating a successful, workable life originates in our thinking and our belief systems. Our words are fueled by our emotions and then are taken within the body and the cells and the atoms and the muscles. So our thinking and our feeling come together and create the action. Conversely, the action keeps driving that belief system deeper into our molecules and into the atoms. So everything, all 3 of those are strengthening whatever we believe about ourselves. If you believe that you're always sick, you're going to hold that thought, you're going to feel fear, and that'll be driven into the body even deeper. Then you'll become sicker because you're holding that truth. So say, I am a healthy, glowing, perfect creation of spirit. And letting that take hold however long it needs to. And the 5th core belief we have here at Spiritual Arts Center, one of my favorites. Life is a celebration. And it's my responsibility to show up at the divine party. Can you work with that? Yeah. That's something we can work with coming up with the holiday season. The invitation to this party was sent on your birthday. The day you arrived here, you got the invitation to take part in this wonderful thing called life. For too many of us, like Renee's client who tried to prepare himself for the worst but find you can't, we're missing out on a life that we knew coming here, our souls knew it was supposed to be joyful. We knew it was supposed to be a wonderful adventure. Now, certainly challenging at times, difficult at times. This is the birthing process. If you're going through a challenging, difficult time, you're giving birth. Remember that. Remember that. You're not being punished, and it isn't things are not working. You're giving birth. How many people here are giving birth? How many women? You gave birth to something really amazing. And I was here, I think usually men say, oh, you'll forget all about all the pain. You don't forget about the pain. No, the pain's there, but the wonderful result that you have is right there. The pain was worth it, yes? Yes. Oh, come on. 6 people said yes out of 100. Well, I'm meditating on it. I'll let you know later. But it's supposed to be joyful. We're supposed to celebrate. Jesus said, unless you become a child in your awareness, like, wow, this is so cool, you can't accept all the good that's available. Picasso, I read something recently. Picasso said something to the effect of, it took me 10 years to learn how to paint like, I think it was Monet. And he said, it's taken me a lifetime to learn to paint as a child. Going back to who we are, these wonderful, innocent, joyful, powerful, small little beings. We forgot. This is the essence of who you are. That 5-year-old, that 4-year-old, that 3-year-old is still in you. It's still a part of who you are. Children knew and know naturally that life is supposed to be a fun adventure. We're supposed to have a good time here. We drill that out of them very quickly. By the time they're teenagers, oh dear God, a lot of prayer work goes on. One Friday morning, a mom dropped her 4-year-old off at preschool, and he got out of the car, he turned to her and said, have a good weekend, Mommy. She said, clearly he had plans that didn't include me. Have a good weekend. 3-year-old Finn asked, do I look fabulous or delicious? A budding Broadway star, of course. Those are your choices too. Are you fabulous or delicious? Both?
Fabulously delicious.
One from each color. Hey, there we go. That's our new Spiritual Arts Center slogan. I am fabulously delicious. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? Lucky Charms. Magically delicious. 4-year-old Landon was overheard saying from another room, I need a new mommy. This one says, no, way too much. One little girl, when she was asked, what do we learn from the story of Jesus turning the water into wine? Said, the more wine we get, the better the wedding. Remember that story, Jesus at the wedding at Cana? They were at the reception, they ran out of wine. Jesus and his friends were having a wonderful time, and his mother came up to him, tapped him on the shoulder, and said, they've run out of wine. Thank you, Mom. And? What was his response supposed to be? Oh, let me run out to the liquor store and get some. No liquor stores then. What did she want him to do? His response was, Woman, the time is not right yet. And then she gave him that mom look. They went, oh. He got up, took the water, and the best wine they had had all day. This is one of my favorite stories in Scripture. We know it's not factual. We know it's a spiritual lesson. I read this morning that Costco had, in their book area, they put the Bible under fiction. And the Christians were freaking out. I'm so offended. Oh my gosh. The distributor told them it was under fiction. They put it there. They said, fine. They said, we're sorry. We didn't mean to do that. But the truth is, they're stories. They're metaphysical, spiritual stories to teach us an inner truth about who and what we are. The only reason Jesus facilitated this wonderful, fun, miracle story was so what? Why? Why did he do this? So people could party. That was the only reason he did it, so people could continue having fun. I could get behind a teacher like this. This is my teacher. Tell me about this water wine thing. I want to learn more about this. This is wonderful. That was the only reason he did it. The great lesson in this story is that it is your father, mother's great pleasure to pour forth all the good that you could ever have. God's only desire is that you are happy. Can you accept that?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that your creator, if you're a parent, the only thing you want for your children is they're happy and well, right? That's all the universe wants for you. That you're happy, that you're prosperous, that you are in the flow of creating a life that works perfectly for you. The universe is saying, you're out of wine, here's more. Here it is. Out of bath oil? Here, go get more. Here's 20. Go for it. You're out of money? Call forth more with your positive words of gratitude for what you have now and watch the good continue to pour forth. That's the way it works. If you desire a mate, act like the mate that you want. Would you date you? I'm sorry to bring this up. You were in a good mood and now we had to go and say, would you date you? And my mind is somewhere else completely different. But it's the truth. Would you date you? Be the person you would date. What do you need to do? You don't need to do anything. You need to change your mind. We all need to change our minds that I deserve to have a right and perfect mate. I deserve to have the right and perfect mate. Together. I deserve to have the right and perfect mate. If they're here with you, turn to them and say, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, there it is. Thank you, honey. If you desire a wonderful career, the one you thought, I can never do this because of blah, 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 be someone who loves yourself in that career and it will show up. See yourself doing it. Write a letter to God, a thank you letter to God. It's already taken care of, which we'll be doing in a few weeks. But if you want that career, imagine yourself doing it, get excited about doing it, and the universe will then react to the energy you're putting out. Stretton Smith, the 4T Prosperity Program creator, was leading a 4T class early on, and a student didn't get the job that they were in the small prayer group praying for and affirming with him. He told Stretton how disappointing it was that it fell through, and he wasn't quite sure that this was a class for him, and just going through all that. And Stretton said, well, is this the career that you've always wanted? And the guy said, no, I never thought I would find work in that field, but I needed a job, and I thought, well, this would be a really great way to make a lot of money. But it didn't happen. And Stretton said, it doesn't work to affirm something you don't want. Why are you affirming something that you don't want? Well, because I need the money. Well, that's not good enough for a child of God. It's not good enough for you to affirm, well, let me have this because it'll give me money. Let me affirm a mate just to get married because I want somebody. What did Yenta say? A bad husband, God forbid, is better than no husband, God forbid. Oh, get that thought out of your mind. That's not the truth. If you want something, affirm it, but don't try to figure out how, because how is not up to you at this point. It never is. Spirit will reveal today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, what you are to do today. But how is not up to you. You can't figure because you don't know. Your joy is in your heart. You say, thank you, God, this is happening. It will show up. So the man went back to the prayer group and said, okay, here's the career I really want. They went, well, why didn't you say so in the beginning? And then he got it. He said it was a miracle. It's not a miracle. A miracle is just God showing up in ways we don't know how. Except the miracle is at work in your life right now. So what really is your heart's deepest desire that you keep putting away? The one that you thought could never have. The one that hurts even to think about it. It hurts because you're pushing it away. You're pushing God's good away. And that really does hurt. It hurts your soul to keep saying no to God. So this week is the first Sunday of Advent, which is the power of hope. Hope is essential to moving forward in life, saying I'm here to do what I'm here to do. And faith, hope, same thing, is the faith that God is good. That God implanted this desire in me. I didn't make it up. That I'm created out of this goodness of spirit, that I go within and I listen to my heart and I receive the truth that if I desire anything good, it has to show up. And it came from God. By my words of faith, joy, love, and enthusiasm, my health, my abundance, my relationships, my career, my right home, peace, all the bath oil you can take, right here. My freedom from addiction is here. I know what to do and I do it gratefully and joyfully. That's your affirmation. It's one of the affirmations to work on this week. I know what to do, and I do it joyfully and gratefully. And I watch God bring it in a way that will be way different than I ever thought. And making every day a celebration of the wonderful truth will bring all of these more into your life quicker and more permanently. So this week's assignment is fun. Nora Ephron's bath oil was her joy. This week, I want you to buy an early Christmas present for yourself, for your soul, for the God self within. What would that be? Get something that pampers you. I want you to get something that pampers you, makes you feel good and awakens your soul. Would that be bath oil or a cologne? A nice bar of soap. It doesn't have to be expensive. If you're on a budget, say, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to get this because I really like it, because it really makes me feel good. Something fun to eat, a bottle of wine if you're not in recovery. Do you hear that? I can tell you to go buy a bottle of wine, and they go to your group and say, well, my minister told me to do this. No. Only if you're not in recovery. A new pair of underwear. A fun book you've wanted to read for a long time. It's your party. What would be fun? What would be fun? Celebrate you today. Begin the celebration, and others will want to join and celebrate you as well. You deserve it just because you're divine. No other reason needed, just because you're divine. Let go of the thought that you don't deserve it. I gave a Saks Fifth Avenue gift certificate a few years ago to a really dear friend. And somebody tithed me, and I wanted to tithe to her because she'd really given me a lot of spiritual food. So I gave her a really lovely gift card. And she looked at it, and she acted like it was on fire. She went, oh, no! Not the reaction I was looking for. And I said, what's the matter? She says, no, it's too much. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't. Oh my gosh. I said, I'll take it. I'll go shopping if you don't want it. And she had to think for a minute. Why? I said, that was quite a reaction. I said, that doesn't And she was new thought, and I said, that's not a reaction from a wonderful, joyous child of God. What was that about? She said, I have to think about that. Do you ever say, oh, you shouldn't have? No! You should have. Thank you so much. That's the only response we have. Thank you. You heard God. Yes, thank you. It's wonderful. Yeah. So if you get a gift, what do you say? Thank you. Wow, that's great. I deserve that. No, don't say that out loud, perhaps. Inside, know that truth. Hold this affirmation. I deserve joy because God says so. Hold on. I deserve joy because God says so. Together? I deserve joy because God says so. Right? If they question you, your family, sometimes family can really, reinstate that thing. Right? You talk to them on the phone. What? You did what? You got yourself what? God says so, Mom. So, inside, not outside. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Go to your heart. This is where God and I are one. Where God says, you deserve it. I deserve joy because God says so. I deserve love because I am love. I deserve abundance because God is abundance and is my right to have it. I'm not taking anybody's good away from having joy myself. I'm increasing it in the consciousness of those around me. As I accept my joy, I see it for you. Breathe in. Let go into that truth. And as we begin our meditation time, we sing our way into knowing God and I are one in the calm of your presence. I am listening now. I am still.